Today we'll be taking division of complex number. So today I'll be taking us on division of complex number. And before I go into division of complex number, there is one aspect of complex number I would like us to look into, which is called the conjugate. Before we can have full understanding of division, I'd like us to take conjugate of complex number. So conjugate will bring us into full understanding of division. Now, what does conjugate of complex number means? For instance, if I have a complex number in this form, A is equal to A plus IB. Conjugate means, conjugate used to be in this form. Conjugate of Z will be A minus IB. So conjugate is just the change of sign of the imaginary part. If the imaginary part is negative, that means the conjugate will be positive. If the imaginary part is positive, the conjugate will be what? Will be negative. So let's take an example. Let's say Z is equal to 3 minus 4I. The conjugate of Z will be what? 3 plus what? 4I. Also, if Z, let's call this 1, let this be 2. If I have Z to be what? Minus 3 minus I, Z conjugate will be what? Will be what?
Minus 3 plus I.
To be minus 3 plus I. So what my emphasis here is just to tell you that the imaginary part is not affected in any way. So anytime you are taking the conjugate of a complex number, the imaginary part remains the same. The only changes used to be on where? On the real part. Do we understand? So now we can go into division of complex number fully. Let's say we have question 1. Let's say we have 3 plus 2I divided by, this is 3, divided by 2 plus 3I. 2 plus 3I. So let's say we have this. 3 plus 2I divided by 2 plus 3I. So this is division of complex number. Now, how do we divide in complex number? Whenever you are dividing, you have, let's say, solution. When you are dividing, you have 3 plus 2I divided by 2 plus 3I. So you have to multiply both the numerator, this is numerator, this is denominator. You multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator, just like how we rationalize in sort. So that is how we do division of complex number. So what I mean is that you multiply this by 2 minus 3I, which is the conjugate of the denominator. Multiply the denominator by 2 minus what? 3I. So here we can now come to expansion. We can say this is 3 plus 2I in a bracket, 2 minus 3I also in a bracket. For the denominator, you can say this is 2 plus 3I, and this is what? 2 minus 3I. Now we can expand. I teach you how you expand in mathematics. You use this first one to multiply this, use the first one to multiply the last one, then use this to multiply this, use the second one to also multiply this. So let's go. 3 multiplied by 2 give us what? 6, right? 3 multiplied by minus 3I give us what? That is minus 9I. Plus 2I multiplied by 2 give us what? 4I. Then this 2 multiplied by 3 give us what? This is minus 6. I multiplied by I give us what? I square. Are we together? So here also, we can say 2 multiplied by 2 give us 4. 2 multiplied by minus 3I give us what? Minus 6I. 3 multiplied by 2 give us what? Plus 6I. Plus multiplied by minus give us minus. 3 multiplied by 3 give us 9I I squared. Do we understand to this point? So all I did here is just expansion. Use this to multiply this. Use the same first one to multiply the last one. Use this one to multiply this. Then use the second one to multiply the last one. So that is how I have 6. This is 6. This is minus 9i plus 4i. Don't forget, I used to tell us minus 9 means you are owing. Plus means you have. So when you have minus 9 plus this, you have what? Minus 5i. Then minus 6i. Minus 6i squared is the same thing as minus 6. Don't forget our minus 1. So all over what? This is 4. This is minus 6 sides plus 6 sides. They will cancel each other, right? Because this one you are owing and this one you are having. So what are you left with? You are left with 9 into what? Minus 1. Are we together? So this is 6 minus 5i. This is plus, minus times minus is plus. 6 times 1 is 6. So all over 4. This times this is plus 9. So finally, our answer will be what? 6. When you add 6 to 6, let me rub this and add it once. When you add 6 to 6, give us what? 12. So this is 12 minus 5i all over what? 4 plus 9 give us what? 13. So is either you leave your answer this way, or if you want to write it in the form of a normal form of writing a complex number, which is a plus ib, you can say this is 12 all over 13. All over 13. Let me write it where? 12 all over 13 minus 5i all over what? 13. So here you can see that you have your all over 5i. So let's write it this way. So this is a right form of writing a complex. So it's either this or this. So this is how you divide in complex number. So I'm going to take other examples. I believe you understand to this point. Okay, so what I just did here, let me just take a recap from this point, is to change my I square here into minus 1. That is why I have minus 1 here. So don't get it confused. I square is always minus 1 because I is square root of minus 1. So I square is always minus 1. So I expand here. This times this give me this. This times this give me this. Then I arrive at my final answer. So how I split this is because the denominator is the same thing. So this is the same as 12 over 13 and this over this. So I arrived at this. So say we have example. Express the following. Express the following in the form a plus ib. So we have we have 1 plus I all square divided by 2 plus I. So I'm going to solve one, then I will allow you to try this. Let me call this 1. Then you can try this. This is 4 plus 3i all over 2 minus I all square. So I will solve this while you try this. So listen attentively so that you understand my steps, my procedure of solving this, so that you can also solve this. You can also try this yourself. So let's solve. I believe I can rub this side up. So this we have, let me write solution. I have what? 1 plus I all square all over what? 2 plus I. So the first thing I'm going to do is to solve for this numerator, because I have 1 plus I. All square means twice of this. So it's equal to 1 plus I into what? 1 plus I. So you can expand this first. If you expand this, what do you have? You have 1 multiplied by 1 give us 1. 1 multiplied by I give us I. I multiplied by 1 give us I. Then I multiplied by I give us what? I square. So here I can have 1 plus 2I plus what? I square is what? Minus 1. Thank you. So here I can have 1 plus 2I minus what? Minus 1. So here what do I have? This is 1 minus 1. When you have 0, because 1 will cancel 1. So finally, my numerator is what? 2I. So this is just my numerator. So indirectly, the question is what? 2I all over what? 2 plus what? I. So this is where I can now start my solving. All I did here is just to expand this first, then divide it by this. So after expanding it, I have my numerator to be this, then divided by this. So we can solve this here. You can copy this question down so that you will solve it, because I will solve only this, then you will try this. So copy the question down before I rub it up. Ensure you copy it down in your notebook. You can copy it down. All right. So let's proceed from here. This is 2I all over what? 2 plus what? I. So by rationalizing, taking the conjugate of the denominator, my conjugate will be 2 minus what? I all over 2 minus what? I. So here I will have 2I multiplied by 2 minus I. Here I will have 2 plus I multiplying 2 minus what? I. So 2I multiplied by 2 give us what? 4I. 2I multiplied by I is giving us what? Minus 2I square. So all over what? This 2 multiplied by 2. Expansion is not new to us again, because 2 multiplied by 2 give us 4. 2 multiplied by minus I will give us minus 2I. I multiplied by 2 give us plus 2I. Then this multiplied by this will give us what? Minus I square. I believe we are following, right? So this is 4I minus 2I squared. So it will be 4I minus 2 into I square is minus 1. So for this done, I can have 4 minus what? This will cancel this, because this is negative, this is positive. So this will cancel each other. So I'm left with minus I square. That is minus I square is minus 1. So finally, I will have 4I plus 2 divided by what? This is 4 plus 1. So our final answer is what? 4I plus 2 all over 5. So if you are to write it in a normal form of complex number, it will be what? 2 over 5 plus 4I all over what? 5. So you can write it like this. You can write your I like this. You can actually put I before 4 over 5, or you write it this way. So this is our final answer. So you can try for that second example. Then also, I would like us to look into, before I move on, please ensure I believe you understand this very well. I want you to understand division very, very well. So that is why I take my time to break it down this way. So what I did here is not something complicating. So that is as simple as it is. Now, the next thing I'm going to look into is modulus of a complex number. Modulus of modulus of complex number. Now, let's take what is modulus. Modulus of complex, let's say we have a complex number in this form, a plus ib. Modulus used to be in this form. Anytime you see something like this, that means it's modulus. That time they can give you a question, just say find this. You might not necessarily write modulus. So when you see something like this, it means modulus. Modulus means just taking the square root of the square of this plus the square of the real part. So you take the square of the real part here and the square of the real part with the complex number. So let's say we have z to be minus 1 plus 14i. So find the, if you are asked to find the modulus of this, modulus will be what? Z modulus will be what? This will be square root of minus 1 square plus 14 square. So from here I will have square root of minus 1 square is what? 1. While 14 square is what? 196. So my answer, so Z, let me write it up here so that I can see it clearly. So this is 1 plus 169, so is what? 167. So Z modulus will be equal to square root of 167. Is it 167? 197. Sorry for that. So this is 197. So this is my modulus. So lastly, before I take the last example, so please, if you have watched me to this point, do well to subscribe to my channel, follow, like, and share. If you have any question, you can send it through the comment section. If you have any question, maybe you have tried questions, don't limit yourself on this. You can do it to try much question as much as possible. Anyone you cannot get, you can send it through the comment section. I will solve it and you will see it also. Now, this is for this. This is the modulus of this question. So lastly, I will solve this, then I will give you order to go and try also. So let me take this question 2. Let's say we have z to be equal to minus 1 minus I. Find z modulus. So if you have to find the modulus of z, the modulus of z will be what? Z modulus will be equal to square root of what? Square root of minus 1 square plus minus 1 square. Why is it minus 1? Because here I have the coefficient of I here to be minus 1. So z will be equal to square root of what? Minus 1 square is 1. Minus 1 square is 1. So finally, my final answer will be what? Square root of what? 2. So you can try this finally on modulus of complex number. You can try this. You can try this for yourself. You can try this. If z is equal to 2 over 3 minus 7 over 8i, find the modulus of z. So you can try this and just try yourself. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Thank you very much.